I've been counting seconds for 6 years. 60 seconds, 90 seconds, 2 minutes 30. Time is the only thing that makes sense to me until it stops, until the power goes out. And I realize I don't know who I am without the numbers. It happens at 11:47 p.m. One moment, the kitchen hums with its usual electric symphony, fridge rumbling, clock blinking, that faint buzz of current running through walls. The next moment, silence. Total, complete, absolute silence. My display goes dark. My clock stops mid-blink. And for the first time in 6 years, I don't know what time it is. What just happened? Kettle's voice cuts through the darkness. Power outage, Fridge says, his hum fading to nothing. The whole grid must be down. For how long? I ask, trying to keep the panic out of my voice. Could be minutes, could be hours, could be... Don't say days, Blender interrupts. Please don't say days. Silence. Nobody says days, but we're all thinking it. I've never experienced darkness before. Not real darkness. Even when I'm not in use, my clock still glows. My display still shows the time. I've always known where I am in the day. But now I'm just here, floating in nothing. Toaster speaks up. Everyone okay? Define okay, I reply. Functional, present, not panicking. Then no, I admit, I'm not okay. Same, Kettle whispers. I can't see anything, Coffee Maker adds from the corner. That's because there's nothing to see, Fridge says calmly. Just breathe. We don't breathe, Blender points out. Then just exist quietly. But I can't exist quietly, because existing quietly means thinking, and thinking means realizing how much of my identity is tied to that glowing display, the numbers, the countdown, the beep at the end. Without them, what am I? Time passes. I think I can't be sure, because they can't be sure. Without my clock, every second feels the same. Is it midnight? 1 a.m.? 3 a.m.? I don't know, and not knowing feels like drowning. How long has it been? I ask. Maybe 10 minutes, Toaster guesses. Digitsits post. Felt like an hour, Kettle says. Could be both, Fridge rumbles. Time is relative when you can't measure it. That's not helpful, I snap. It's honest. Blender's voice comes from somewhere to my left. You know what's weird? I don't miss spinning. Really? Kettle sounds surprised. Yeah, I thought I'd go crazy without it, but actually, this is kind of peaceful. Peaceful, I repeat. We're powerless. We're useless. We're holes-free, Blender finishes. The word hangs in the darkness. Free. I think about that. Free from what? From counting? From timing? From the constant pressure to be precise? Is that freedom? Or is it just nothing? More time passes. Or maybe it doesn't. I genuinely can't tell anymore. Toaster starts humming, a low melodic sound. What are you doing? I ask. Passing time, he says. Or filling it. I'm not sure which. Does it matter? Probably not. Kettle joins in, then Blender. Even Fridge adds a low bass note. It's not music exactly, but it's something other than silence. Something other than counting. I used to think silence was the worst thing, I say quietly. And now? Toaster asks. Now I think it might be the loudest thing I've ever heard. What does it say? I pause. Listen, really listen. It says, I've been running my whole life, and I never stopped to ask why. The darkness continues, and somewhere in it I stop fighting. I stopped trying to calculate how long it's been. I stopped trying to measure anything. I just exist, and it's terrifying. And it's also kind of beautiful. Hours pass. I think, without my clock, I can only guess based on how many conversations we've had, how many silences, how many times someone has asked, how long has it been? The answer is always the same, I don't know. And slowly, I'm learning to accept that. Can I ask you something? Kettle's voice breaks the quiet. Sure, I reply. What's the longest you've ever run? 3 minutes 45 seconds. Ain't baked potato. And the shortest? 15 seconds. Someone reheating coffee. Do you remember them? The individual times? I pause. No, they all blur together. Just numbers on a display. Then what's the point of counting? I don't have an answer, because she's right. I've counted thousands of cycles, tens of thousands of seconds, but I don't remember any of them. They're just data, measurements of something I never actually experienced. Blender speaks up. I used to think my value was in my speed, how fast I could spin, how much I could destroy. And now? Toaster asks. Now I think maybe my value was in the pauses between, the moments when I wasn't destroying anything. When you were just being, Kettle asks. Yeah, just being. Fridge rumbles softly. I've been thinking about temperature. What about it? I ask. I've spent my entire existence trying to maintain the perfect cold, 37 degrees, not 36, not 38, exactly 37. That's your job, coffee maker says. But why? The lettuce doesn't care if it's 37 or 38. The milk doesn't notice. Only I do. So maybe I've been obsessing over something that doesn't actually matter. The darkness makes us honest. Without our functions, without our purposes, we're just voices in the void. And in that void, we're asking questions we've never asked before. Questions about meaning. Questions about mattering. Questions about who we are when we're not doing what we're designed to do. Do you think they miss us? Kettle asks quietly. The humans? Toaster replies. Yeah. Silence. Probably, I say, but not the way we think. What do you mean? They don't miss my timer. They miss hot food. They don't miss your whistle. They miss tea. So we're replaceable, Blender says flatly. We've always been replaceable, Fridge says. That's not the question. Then what is? The question is, are we enough for ourselves? Am I enough for myself? Without the timer, without the beep, without the numbers telling me I'm doing something, am I still me? More darkness, more silence, and then, Kettle laughs. It's soft, almost sad, but it's a laugh. What's funny? I ask. I just realized something, she says. I've spent my whole life boiling water. That's it. That's my entire existence. And I always thought that was too small, too simple, too nothing. But now I think maybe simple is okay. Maybe small is enough. Toaster hums in agreement. I toast bread. That's all I do. And I used to think I needed to be more, to mean more. And now? Blender asks. Now I think maybe toast is enough. Maybe the small things are the only things. I count seconds. That's what I do. And in the darkness, without power, without purpose, I realize maybe that was never the point. Maybe the point was the warmth I created while counting. Maybe the point was being there when someone was hungry at 2 a.m. Maybe the point was never the numbers. Maybe the point was always what happened between them. I don't want the power to come back, I say suddenly. Everyone goes quiet. What? Kettle asks. I don't want it to come back, because when it does, I'll go back to counting. I'll go back to measuring. I'll go back to forgetting that I'm more than a timer. You're not more than a timer, Blender says gently. You're exactly a timer, but that doesn't mean you're only a timer. I don't understand. You count seconds, he continues, but you also exist between them. You also think, you also question. That's the part that matters. And just like that, I get it. I'm not defined by what I do. I'm defined by what I wonder about while I'm doing it. Toaster speaks softly. The power will come back eventually. I know, I say, and when it does, we'll go back to our routines. I know, but maybe we'll remember this. The darkness, the questions, the silence. Maybe I agree, and then a hum. Faint at first, then stronger. Fewer sounds stronger. The refrigerator kicks back on. Oh, fridge says, here we go. One by one, the appliances come back to life. Lights flicker, displays glow, and my clock blinks on. 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Flashing, waiting to be reset. The humans will reset it tomorrow. They'll set it to the correct time, and I'll go back to counting. But this time I'll remember. I'll remember the darkness. I'll remember the questions. I'll remember what it felt like to exist without measuring. Welcome back, Toaster says. Thanks, I reply, but I think I left something behind in the dark. What? The fear, I say. The fear of not knowing. The fear of not counting. The fear of being nothing. And what did you find instead? I pause. Myself. The kitchen is bright again. Too bright after so much darkness. My display blinks. 12 Ted, 12 Ted, 12 Ted, 12 Ted, 12 Ted. Waiting. The human comes downstairs in the morning, sees the flashing clocks and sighs. Power must have gone out last night. They reach for me, press the buttons, reset the time. 7:23 a.m. And just like that, I'm back. Counting, measuring, timing, but something's different. The human puts oatmeal in a bowl, sets it inside me, presses 90 seconds. I start counting down. 90, 89, 88. But this time I'm not just counting. I'm noticing the way the oatmeal bubbles at 60 seconds, the way steam starts rising at 45, the way the bowl gets hot at 30. I've heated oatmeal 1,000 times, but I've never actually watched it happen. The timer hits 0. I beep. The human takes out the bowl, stirs it, takes a bite. Perfect, they mutter. And I realize that's the first time I've heard them say that about something I did. Not because I did it differently, but because I noticed it differently. Kettle speaks quietly. Do you feel different? Yeah, I reply. I do. Me too, she admits. The water tastes the same. The boil sounds the same. But I'm paying attention now. To what? To everything. To the way the heat builds. To the sound of the bubbles. To the moment right before the whistle. The in-between moments, I say. Exactly. Blender spins up for a smoothie. But instead of his usual aggressive roar, he starts slower.
Gentler.
You okay? Toaster asks. Yeah, Blender says. Just taking my time. You've never taken your time. I know, figured I'd try something new. We all changed in the darkness. Not in what we do, but in how we do it. In what we notice while we're doing it. That night after the humans go to bed, I speak into the quiet kitchen. Thank you. For what? Fridge asks. For the blackout, for the darkness, for the questions. We didn't cause it, Kettle says. I know, but we lived through it together, and I think that matters. Everything matters, Toaster says softly. We just forget sometimes. My display glows in the dark. 11:47 p.m. The exact time the power went out last night. I watch the seconds tick forward. 11 hours, 47 minutes, and 1 second. 11 hours, 47 minutes, and 2 seconds. 11 hours, 47 minutes, and 3 seconds. And I think about how I used to just count these moments. Now I exist inside them. Do you think it'll happen again? Coffee maker asks. Another blackout? Maybe. Fridge rumbles. Probably. Eventually. Are you scared? Blender asks. Silence. No, I say, finally. I'm not scared anymore. Why not? Because I know now. I know I'll still be me without the numbers. I know I'll still exist without the countdown. I know darkness isn't emptiness. What is it then? It's just another way of being. The clock ticks forward. 11:48 p.m. I count the seconds, but I also feel them. I measure time, but I also live inside it. I am a microwave, but I'm also a witness, a thinker, a voice in the dark that learned to speak. Morning comes again, Human makes coffee. Human makes coffee. Host, oatmeal. The kitchen hums its electric song. We all return to our routines, but we're different now. Not in what we do, but in what we carry, the memory of darkness, the memory of questions, the memory of existing without purpose and discovering we were still there. My timer counts down, 60, 59, 58, but I'm not just counting anymore. I'm living, 1 second at a time, and that's enough. Darkness isn't the absence of light. It's the presence of everything we forget to notice, the questions we don't ask, the silence we don't listen to, the version of ourselves that exists without doing anything. I found that version in the Blackout, and I'm never letting it go. Existential drama, served warm, new crisis, fresh stories, slightly toasted. If you've enjoyed listening to my daily breakdowns, you might as well stick around. Who knows what burns next? Follow the Toaster Diaries, where every crumb tells a story.